Welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I am your host, Brisa de Angulo Lozada, and today I am joined by Chris Brown. We have the very amazing privilege of having you today in the show, so welcome to the show, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Brisa. It's so wonderful to be here.
Thanks, Chris. I want to get to know you a little bit more, so beyond your title and your work, tell me a little bit about who you are and let me know more about you.
Yeah, so I think the thing that really defines me more than anything else is I'm a dad. I have two wonderful sons, almost 25 and almost 22. One of them is graduating from UCLA in about a week, my youngest one.
That's amazing.
The other one's a grad of Wisconsin. All three of us are Eagle Scouts. And I like to think that I'm a coach and educator, someone who's passionate about giving back. A sports nut, a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, admittedly, and really someone who's trying to make the world a little better in my own way.
That's beautiful. Tell us a little bit about your title and your work and what you do in a very nutshell.
Sure. So I founded a firm called Ivy League Financial Advisors because I went to Cornell as an undergrad and got my MBA from Dartmouth 25 years ago. And what we do is we work with clients who typically have means, high net worth, ultra high net worth people. And what I like to say is that we breathe life into their possibilities, which is working with them to figure out like how they take the wealth they've accumulated and step into a life of fulfillment. And
awesome.
Really supporting them and challenging them to do that, whatever it means for them, whether it means being charitably inclined, working to, giving them permission to enjoy the life they work so hard to create, because a lot of people need that permission, and then making sure that they're going to be okay, making sure that they can, fund everything they want to do.
That's awesome. The fact that you started this business, I'm sure there was a moment in your life where you said something has to change, and what made you come up with that idea of like, this is what I want to invest my time in?
It was quite a journey for me because even in college, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I mean, I remember I thought I was going to be a mechanical engineer. Then I took the first real mechanical engineering course and was bored by it. Went to my advisor and said, I don't think this is, what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I spent about 6 or 7 years as a management consultant, and it really wasn't fulfilled by that. I have a really strong need to help people out in a personal way and to do what my dad taught me is do the right thing for them. That wasn't getting met in that career. And then it manifests itself in terms of not being able to sleep at night for about 6 months. I'd go to bed at 11, wake up at 2, and I couldn't go back to sleep again. And that's just horrible.
Horrible.
And so that's a real symbol that like something needs to change, And so I had been taking coursework to become a certified financial planner and decided that, the way I wanted to live my life was to start my own business. And so that was really a tough decision because my career was pretty successful, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And what's beautiful is that not only you decided this is what I want to do, but that with what I do, I want to help others.
Yes.
And that is such an important part of showing your character, and that this is not just, I want something for me. I want something for me that helps others. And that is something that is a very beautiful quality. Is there any part in your personal journey that you had to break through, either mentally, emotionally, situationally, that you said that took you to where you are now?
Well, I think when I made that decision, we picked up and moved from the New York metropolitan area to the D.C. metropolitan area. And moving into an area where you didn't grow up and trying to start a personal services firm is really, really tough. I sometimes tell people it's kind of one of the stupider things I did in life. It worked out okay. But, you have to, I had to really work hard. I had to network, incredibly, at business events, to some senior advisors in our area who took on clients that maybe had minimums much higher than what I was willing to take on at the time, and show them what I can do and really, be resourceful in terms of doing that. And, I worked out of my house for 5 years and moved into office space in year 6 and have been there ever since then. So that was, and I didn't have a backup plan. Someone asked me one time, he said, "What's your backup plan?" I said, "I don't have one." And that's a strong motivating factor.
Yeah. And it's a scary move because you don't know what's at the other side. And one of the things that we talk a lot about is that success is not because things were easy, but it's because you didn't give up.
Yeah.
Even in the low points.
Yeah.
And that is something so important to share, that you got where you are, not because it was easy, but because you didn't give up in those moments where it seemed that you couldn't anymore. Is there any particular moment that you could share with the audience where you felt like, where you considered giving up and somehow you held on and like move you to the next step?
Yeah, there was a pretty serious one. So 8 years after I started, in 2008, we had the Great Recession with the whole mortgage crisis. And I tend to take things very personally, which is like, I felt like, at one point the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 14,000, it dropped to 6,500. And I tend to personalize everything. And I thought, well, I should have seen this coming, which was, of course, like a crazy thought. But, I felt like I let all my clients down. Again, I had trouble sleeping, went to a doctor, and he prescribed Ambien for me. Now, 2 weeks after I started taking the Ambien, I started having anxiety attacks. Never had anxiety attacks in my life. So rather than taking me off the Ambien, now I'm on Ambien and Xanax.
Ugh.
I dropped 25 pounds in 3 months because I didn't feel like, this is all nuts to me now, but I didn't feel like I was worthy of eating because I was letting my clients down. And now my wife goes, "I think you're showing signs of depression." So he puts me on the antidepressive Lexapro. So now I'm on Ambien, Xanax, and Lexapro. And then my family figures out that I'm probably having a reaction to the Ambien. And once I got off of that, things were fine. But I felt like there was a period during that time where I felt like every client was going to fire or sue me. I didn't have, I was at my desk, like I have a sofa in my office. I couldn't be at my desk more than 2 hours laying down on the sofa. And I just felt like I let everyone down. I internalized everything. I felt really guilty about everything. And looking back, the interesting part is that I lost no clients during that period. And of course, the market came back. But that's when I was kind of like, maybe I'm just in over my head, Maybe everyone else saw this coming. And of course they didn't. But I put so much pressure on myself. Right. And there were 2 lessons I learned from that, which is that one, if you think you're in control, you're kidding yourself. And the second thing is, be grateful for what you have, because not everybody has that, So, but I got through it with the help of my family, and so, and everything was fine a year later. So,
and you hold on, and that is such an important concept to learn, to even in those moments where it feels like I can't anymore, just hold on just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you will be surprised by what comes next, because a lot of people give up at that time and they lost all the opportunity of what could have come later. And that you are a great example of that.
Yeah, things will get better. It may take some time. You may not be able to see how, but you just don't give up because you believe so strongly in terms of what you're doing, even though you have doubts along the way. It's that real strong strength of conviction of, what your mission is and how you're helping people that kind of got me through that,
So I have a question for those who are thinking about becoming your clients. What is one thing that makes it unique of going with you? What is something that they can be certain of if they reach out to you?
Sure. So I think that so let me back up a second. The financial services industry hasn't served clients well. It's a history based on product sales and really only managing money without looking at everything else that impacts a person's financial well-being. So when they come to us, first of all, one of the things that they come to us for is that we're in the industry what's known as fee only. We don't sell product. We're not compensated by commissions. Our clients are the only people who pay us for our work, which allows us to sell on the same side of the table and do what's right for them, because we don't have any interest in we don't have a vested interest in any product. But secondly, we do more than just investment consulting. In fact, investment consulting is really kind of just table stakes in today's world. It's the advanced planning we do. It's the estate planning. It's the retirement planning. It's looking at, do they have the right kinds and right amounts of insurance? We don't sell it. Are they charitably inclined? Do they want to do something for causes that they want to support? And how do all these things, and do they, everybody wants to save taxes. No one wants to, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you hate paying taxes, right?
Yes.
So it's how all these things fit together. And most of the time they're not being served by other people, even though they need those services and other financial advisors. And those are the things that we do it. And we work with a team of experts who help us in areas where, we're not an expert in, and act as a quarterback and bring that whole team together to really serve the client.
One thing that you said that I really want to highlight is that it is a lot more than just working with the financial part. But you as a person, do you feel good with where you're going? And is this financial situation that you're in helping you reach the dreams and goals that you have? So I think, and beyond the financial part, but like the emotional, the social, the connection to the world, because at the end of the day, that is really what matters for your joy more than the financial. But who am I in this world, and what am I accomplishing, and how am I using all these resources to get me to that? And I think that is something very special and unique that you're giving in your programs.
Yeah, I mean, even in our first meeting, sometimes people say, what do I need to bring? I said, just show up. And then, I say, look, we're just going to ask you a ton of questions to get to know you better, to figure out how we can best serve you. Or if we're not the right match for you, we'll tell you that. And from that session, we turn around what was something we called a total client profile, which is a mind map that encompasses everything we've heard in that session. And for the first time in their lives, they can see on one piece of paper a summary of their goals and concerns, their values, their relationships that are important to them, what their assets are to support their dreams. And for some people, it's kind of a life-altering experiences, and we discuss how money was dealt with when they were growing up and what has been kind of built into them by experiences from their parents, right, and so forth. And so you need to understand all of that.
And what your legacy you want to be.
What do you want to leave?
Exactly. That's amazing. Well, if someone who is listening today wants to stay in contact with you, reach out, how can they get to reach out to you?
Well, the easiest way is through our website. Our firm is Ivy League Financial Advisors. Our website is IVYFA, like Ivy with FA for financialadvisor.com, IVYFA.com. Or pick up the phone and call us. Our number is 301-258-1300.
Can you say that number again?
301-258-1300.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chris, for being here and sharing, and for what you do, and for using the difficult moments in your life to shape not only your life, but help shape other people's with hope and perseverance, and making sure that we can live this life the most meaningful way that we can.
Well, it was a pleasure being here. I really appreciate it.
It is really nice to have you here today.
Thank you.